Hey guys, what's up? Evan from Stock Music Musician, and today I've got a review of Native Instruments Symphony series for their woodwind ensembles. Now, I've made a series of videos actually demoing all the different sounds that are included in this massive uh, instrument here for Kontakt. But this is just going to sort of serve as the review. And then it's part of a playlist. You can go down, and every week I'm going to release a video, Woodwind Wednesdays, at least for the next month or two, demoing different instruments included within the massively gigantic Woodwind Ensemble uh, instrument from Native Instruments. Now, when I say massive, I mean this thing is like 80 gigabytes. I had to double check. I actually literally had to get a new hard drive to use this. So that's how big it is. And that is how good it sounds. These sounds are super well sampled, super articulate. As you'll hear and you'll see in those demos, even if you don't really know what you're doing when it comes to composing, the way the samples work and the way the engine just sort of takes what you play and comes up with a natural decay and a natural sort of attack and all of these sorts of things, it helps you instantly figure out how to play these instruments and how to use them. The flute behaves differently from the sax and from the bassoon and the clarinet, um, but instantly just from playing them, you get a sense of how to use them without having to dig deep into any patches or do too much setting changes, but you also have the capability of doing key switches. Um, so let me take a second to pause before we really get all the way into this review and just say that Native Instruments gave me a review copy so that, just to get that out of the way, but this is my unbiased opinion on what these sound like. They sound amazing. They are rich and lush. And up until now, Reason was really sort of an environment where you could not do strings or woodwinds or brass for the life of you without having them sound absolutely terrible. And this is just a totally different world. This is an engine that knows how to pick, you know, the right decay curves and the velocity curves and just stitch them all together in ways that sound like a real instrument. And for the first time, I feel like I could say I could use this just by itself naked on a song. Whereas in the past, I think with Reason, you really, especially if you're using like the NNXT, you really had to bury any strings you wanted or any woodwinds or brass way in the background because they sounded so bad unless it was like the perfectly sampled note for the perfectly sampled articulation, um, which was pretty rare, I found. And this is just instantly loaded up, start playing, and you've got just this beautiful, lush sounding orchestra behind you. Some things about it, it's easy to use, it's easy to control. Some of the drawbacks are its massive size. It's not necessarily it's affordable, but it's not necessarily cheap. But in the typical Native Instruments style, really what you do is you buy, you know, complete, and it includes like a stripped down version. And then if you like it, you can get the cross grade for like a pretty reasonable price. Um, the other big thing about it is that most of the patches actually were really lightweight and were working great on my computer, but a few of them would cause um, some glitching and stuttering. And I still think this is probably just likely to be an artifact of Reason 9.5 not being fully optimized yet for VST plugins, so I expect we'll see this improving, but 99% of the patches worked really flawlessly. Um, the other thing about this is that a lot of these are more the ensemble sounds, and so if you want to get like solo instrument type sounds, you got to use a whole different, um, basically get a whole other VST for that. But they complement each other very well, and this is really just an incredible place to start to get full sounding woodwinds in your music. And I think this, whether it's standalone scoring, It's totally up to that quality. Or, you know, if you've got a rock pop song, you just want to put some in the background, or even like a hip hop song, you want to come up with something and then sample it, cut it down. Symphony series Woodwind, it really blew me away, because I've been of the world and the impression that you just couldn't do woodwinds realistically on a computer, and I've been proven wrong, happily so. So definitely would recommend it. There is an affiliate link down below if you want to purchase it. If not, no skin off my back, but I would recommend it if you need this sort of sound.